Remakes, a thing everyone loves. Retro gamers love them because it gives them a chance to play their older games in a different way. Modern gamers love them because it gives them a chance to play some of their old games they might not have the console for. And companies love them because it gives them a chance to make a whole lot of money with little effort. Truly a win-win for all. Some remakes though are better than others. Some like Super Mario 3D All-Stars are just high-resolution ports. Some like Wind Waker HD just give the graphics a little boost and add a couple of new things here and there, while others like Kirby Superstar improve upon everything and add so much that they completely replace the original. Now, out of every franchise, the one with the most consistent flow of remakes is probably Pokemon. These re-releases are without a doubt some of the greatest remasters of all time. They improve the graphics, the music, the gameplay, add more areas, Pokemon, elements from newer generations, more moves, more items, more side quests, more side modes, more everything. However, technically 4 titles stand out from this list: Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. Fans have revered these titles for years as the pinnacle of what a remaster should look like. So today, let's have a look at the latter and see why Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen is a perfect remake. First off, we have the presentation. Gen 1, well, my third favorite Pokemon game in the series, even if you exclude FireRed and LeafGreen, isn't too appealing in the visual department. Many of these sprites look a little off. In my opinion, it only adds to the experience by making me feel like I'm back in 1998. To others though, the sprites are horrendous, and they aren't exactly wrong. Just take a look at Wigglytuff. These sprites, along with the monotone graphics, can really drag down the game for newer players. For some at least. Like I said earlier, Red and Blue's graphics really don't bother me personally, they only add to the charm. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the massive graphical upgrade FireRed and LeafGreen added. Here, many of the sprites are colorful, well detailed, and overall nice to look at. Since this is technically a Gen 3 installment, many graphical elements are reused from Ruby and Sapphire, but most are actually made from the ground up, although in the same style as Ruby and Sapphire. The visuals have aged beautifully, with there not really being anything feeling out of place or looking hard on the eyes. There's a reason why most Pokemon animation channels all use a Gen 3-like style for their characters. The visual presentation is just perfect. Now, while the graphics of the Gen 1 games have been criticized by many, I think we can all agree that the soundtrack is a freaking masterpiece. So the foundation was already there for FireRed and LeafGreen to build up upon, and man, did they build. All the classics, the Mount Moon theme, the Trainer Battle theme, the Rocket Base theme, Wild Pokemon theme, your Rival Battles theme, and of course all the music that plays in the various routes. They've all been upgraded from 8-bit to 32-bit, but still managed to keep that nostalgic atmosphere, or even get better than they were originally, like with Mount Moon. The only places where I can say the music wasn't as good is in Lavender Town and Pokemon Tower, because they were trying to make Lavender Town less creepy, but it ended up sounding pretty forgettable, while the original was friggin' awesome. Alongside these remix tracks are a number of music from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. The music that plays in gyms, after defeating a wild Pokemon, after defeating a gym leader, and most sound effects are all reused from those games. None of them feel out of place though, since they are themselves remixes of tracks from Gen 1 anyway, but just so happen to be used in the other Gen 3 titles. So not only do Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen have a huge upgrade in graphics, but in audio as well. It's a great example for developers to look at to learn how to boost the presentation of an old game, while at the same time making it feel like the same game and keeping its core. Alright, next up are all the elements that are brought in from the second and third generations. There's breeding, new moves, new items, new evolutions, tons of Johto Pokemon you can get later on in the adventure. There's abilities, you can rematch trainers in a similar fashion to Emerald, and added shinies, although I've never seen one, and better typing. For instance, in the original installments, psychic types are ridiculously OP. Like, they smash everything. even ghost types, which are usually the killing blow in the later installments. Guess what? There's only like one ghost type move in the whole game, Lick, and at psychic types, there was a glitch in the code, so they're actually immune to ghost types in the original. And since the only ghost types in the original games are Ghastly, Gengar, Haunter, that family, and they're poison types, it actually means that they're weak to psychic type moves. So there's pretty much no counter to psychic types in the original games, since there's no dark either. So, yeah. I mean, it can be fun when you have an overpowered psychic type, but not so much when your opponent does. Here in FireRed, psychic types aren't quite the beast they were before, with actual effective ghost types and dark type moves being able to take them down. Oh, and let's not forget all the little things, like whenever you throw a Pokeball, whatever Pokeball you throw at a Pokemon, that's the same ball you send them out of at the beginning of a fight, or the new TM's gym leaders give out, or even the ability to run. Some stuff was kept the same though, evolution stones for instance. In most other games, like Gold and Silver or X and Y, these stones are quite rare, and you can only get a certain number of them per save file. But here, you can buy fire, water, and thunder stones from stores, just like in the originals. So thank goodness they didn't change that. One thing I'm glad they didn't change though was how Red and Blue had no day and night cycle, nor does FireRed and LeafGreen. Which is nice, don't get me wrong though, I do like day and night cycles in the Pokemon games, but it would completely change the experience if they introduced them here. At least because of that, there's no save battery to worry about, which is really nice to think about, because I worry all the time about my Emerald cartridge, its battery going dead. To sum things up, these remakes spice things up by adding new and frankly better elements from more recent installments in the franchise, but they've added just enough to make the games better, but not to the point of changing the heart and essence of Gen 1. It's a perfect balance. It helps more modern fans by having mechanics they're used to, while at the same time being enjoyable to players who've already played through Gen 1 by introducing new elements. Speaking of which, now we have one of the greatest things about FireRed and LeafGreen, something that remakes, especially nowadays, really need to add more of. New content. Enter the Sevi Islands, an area filled with hours of content after the main story is over. You first get a chance to get to the islands after clearing the 7th gym, although I typically don't like to do anything here until after the main story is over. There are many things you can do here. Moltres was moved from Victory Road to here. Many Johto Pokemon can be caught here, at least after you get the National Dex. And breeding. There are many other side quests here as well, such as collecting gemstones for Bill's friend, taking down the last of Team Rocket, or just fighting other trainers. All in all, there's a total of about 5 to 10 extra hours of gameplay here, and it's pretty solid. I put it in the same league as most other post-game regions in the series. They give new content to people who've already played through Gen 1, while simultaneously bridging the gap between the first 3 Pokemon generations. It's too bad there is never a brief couple episodes dedicated to the Sevi Islands in the anime, unless you want to count the Orange Islands as being the anime equivalent to the Sevi Islands, but that's a topic for another day. Factoring in everything these games have improved upon, the graphics, the sound, the gameplay, the new features, the new Pokemon, and the improved areas, it wouldn't be so far-fetched to assume that this is one of the greatest video game remasters of all time. As are most Pokemon remakes, and I would make some videos about these other ones if I could record DS stuff, but I can't sadly, so this video will have to do. On a higher note though, I cannot wait to get my hands on either a copy of Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl, but I haven't even played through Platinum yet, so I better get to that first. Anyway, I'd like for everyone to write down in the comments what you think of the Gen 4 remakes, and if it's worth playing over Platinum, because I haven't paid any attention to the trailers or anything, so I have no clue what it's like. Besides that, I wish you all a good day, and see you all next time.